Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. I'm pretty excited here as I've been waiting for these figures for quite some time. And after postponement, finally they are here. The Storm Collectibles Golden Axe 2-pack skeleton. Today I'll be reviewing the figures in the following categories: accessories, articulation, design, are they essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once all scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if these figures are a pass or a purchase. While the accessories are here, let me just explain that you receive the same set of accessories with the other skeleton, meaning the same amount of hand, shield, as well as the sword. The head scope you're seeing, it's simply a singular head scope. I just took it off the other one so that I can show it in part of this accessories. So for the hands, you receive 5 pair of hands in total. The hands are done very soft or flexible. It's up to you to decide which one, but very easy to bend. Not brittle. They appear to be done maybe in rubber, so you don't have to worry about them breaking. We do receive a sword. Has a fair amount of paint on it. The blade does have a metallic sheen, which I do like. Base is done in a gold color, same as the shield, and the base of it is black with a gold tip. Now, my favorite of the accessories is the shield. The shield is done in a gold. The skull is painted either white or gray. Can't tell you for sure, but if I was a betting man, I would go closer to white. There is some outlines of gray around it, so I'm going to say it's definitely white. And also you can see dry brush of gray going around, which makes the shield looks a little bit worn, so I really like that. The inside, there are 2 straps. It should be fairly easy for him to hold, though the arms are very skinny, so we will see how that actually plays out. And as far as for the singular head scope, it looks pretty good. It looks very good. Let me not downplay it. The jaw is articulated, which is cool. But I wish we would have gotten a second head scope. Maybe something that had a big crack in it. Something that maybe had blood on it. But I think 2 head scopes were the way to go, especially being that Storm Collectibles is pretty well known for giving us additional head scopes. Or the other skeleton could have came with a separate head scope. So for accessories, we'll give the skeleton an 8 out of 10. So for articulation, the head is able to, well, it's really not able to look up that far. As you see this, it's really that the body is soft and bending versus the head simply just being flexible. As I let it go, you'll see that it slowly comes back down. So I would say the head is able to look up about that much, all the way down. It's able to turn, good amount of pivot, and you get some back and forth, good amount of back and forth. Mentioned earlier that the jaw itself is articulated, opening about that much. So the arm is able to go up about that far. It's able to fully rotate, also twist. You have rotation at the forearm, rotation at the wrist. And the wrist itself is on a peg, and you get a decent amount of rotation. The arm itself is single, double jointed, bending in about that much. So with the torso, just using the upper part, might as well show you now. You can see the separation here, so you actually get movement at this part as well as this part. So I'm going to attempt to restrict the bottom. So using the top, you get a good amount of rotation. Crunch is great, as well as backwards. Good amount. No pivot. Let's make sure I'm right with that. Okay, so I'm not going to say there's no pivot. You just can't go straight to the side, but if you angle him a little bit, you're able to get him to go all the way over. That works nearly just as well. So using the combination of the 2, he's able to crunch all the way forward, almost, well, you know what, almost. Going backwards, he's able to go back about that much. And you just get a phenomenal amount of rotation. It's also able to twist a full 360 if you were wondering. The legs are able to do a full split, even higher. They're able to rotate fully around if you need to do so. You do get upper rotation, as well as rotation under the knee. Double jointed legs bending up about that much. With the feet, they rotate. Great pivot in. Good pivot out. You do have the toe is able to bend upwards, not down. So you get good mobility. I wish all Storm Collectibles ankles work this way. I really do. So also in the articulation, I want to focus on the shoulder for a moment. You're able to get the arm to turn in a little bit. It's very hard to say that this is a butterfly joint or not, but it does rotate in. So for articulation, you definitely get some limitation in the head area. Being that this figure doesn't have on a costume, any extra layers of paint, anything that's really restricting the free mobility of the figure, I feel that there should be no limitations. Also, you get some limitations in the legs. So for overall articulation, I'm going to give this figure an 8 out of 10. So for design, let's start with the positive. I really feel they did a good job of capturing the human anatomy. I really like how the rib cage looks, how it's sort of small at the top and then just flares in the middle and just rounds itself off closer to the end. Also, the vertebrae looks very well. I like the pelvis, as well as how the knees connect when you don't see the hinge. This is from the back, that's fine. So very good scope work. Secondly, I really like the combinations of colors that are throughout this figure. Just really starting with the head sculpt, as here I feel that you can really see the combination of colors. Really looking into the eyes, you can see it goes to a deep gray, if not black. But then that is muted as it comes down to the teeth, which are certainly much clearer. However, they made sure to where the eyes, it has that depth as well as the nose, so it's much darker. And then throughout, it's just painted in a combination of whites and grays, which really makes this look like bone. So moving on to the negative, the figure uses two types of material, or it could be the same material, however, one is much more pliable than the other is. So starting with the rib cage, it is very flexible. As you can see, you're able to bend it to will. However, with the legs, they're made out of a very hard plastic. And the figure overall just feels pretty fragile. I understand that it is a skeleton. I'm not sure if it's because of the combination of the two, the pliable part up top and the harder part throughout, or if it's just that the figure is really not too heavy, so it really feels a bit cheaply made. And my second issue would be the size. For those of you who have played Battle Axe before, you probably remember that the skeletons are about the same size as the Battle Axer. And I would assume, because I do not have that figure in hand, that he stands close to 7 inches. This figure is nowhere near 7 inches tall. Just for some comparisons very quickly, just want to throw a Marvel Legends. And you can see it is bigger than the Marvel Legends, but it's nowhere near 7 inches tall. So it's too small in my opinion. The skeletons in Golden Axe were taller, had more mass, and these figures do not capture the likeness of the skeletons that were in the game. So for design, I'm going 6 out of 10. So are these essential to your collection? Well, it depends how far Storm Collectible plans to go with the line. We already know that the Battle Axer and Dragon are coming, and now you have the skeletons. Do they plan to go much further in the line? Maybe. I think a lot of people forget that Golden Axe actually stretched out for years. There were prequels, there were spin-off games. And there was a very good one that was Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder, if I'm not mistaken. Very good game. A lot of people don't know about that one. So there are plenty characters to continue to go on outside of just the dwarf, the Battle Axer, and the female warrior. One of the franchises had 4 different characters that you can play with. And through the combination of games, there were also different characters that you can play with. The villains weren't only skeletons. There were a variety of villains as well, so this line can continue to go on. But now if it doesn't go on, you can still use these skeletons to go in many of your displays. I think with this particular line that even people who don't collect Storm collectibles are really not into the battle axe thing. They may still buy these skeletons to go somewhere else in their action figure collection. So as far as essential for your collection, in my opinion, there is nothing better than a character that can go across lines. So I'll be giving them a 10 out of 10. So for functionality, let's start with the hands. They pop off easier enough. Just want to see. And they go on pretty well. I'm always a fan of the peg being inside the hand, but in this case, it works relatively easy. I'm going to put this down for a moment. I want to go directly to the shield. And what I plan to do here is to use one of the gripping hands to simply place around this part of the shield. The hands are very flexible, so it's easy to do so. And I'm just going to use his arm and port it through, but I need to remove the hand on him to do so. So just take that off. I'm pretty sure you can do it the other way, having his hand on and then just placing it through. I just find this to be a lot easier. Not with this particular figure, just with all figures. So being that the hand is so soft, it is actually easier to place the hand on, place it through, and then grip it. It is just way easier. It's not holding it like I would like. I'm just going to go off camera for a moment. Okay, so the hands are through. They're holding this part, but they are super soft, but it's holding. So we'll go with that. And I'm going to change this hand to the gripping hand for this side. Sorry, that's off camera. And I'm just going to import the blade like so. So the hand doesn't do a particularly good job of holding the inside of the shield as it continues to come loose. So simply what I did was turn the fist to the side to prevent it from sliding out. Now, the one thing that I was worried about, being that the arms are so thin, is if the shield was going to weigh it down. It does not. The same with the sword. Taking another look at the head sculpt, the jaw I feel will hold in place. You can continue to move it up and down. I think it should be fine. So while the figure feels a bit fragile, I have been posing it, bending it. So far, it hasn't broken. I really want to try to detach this part here. I didn't see anything in the instructions that says that it is. Ooh, that scared me a little bit, but I think if I can take him apart, that would be pretty cool. So for functionality, he does not hold the weapons particularly well, especially the shield. The softness of the hand continues to undo. With the bladed hand, he's able to hold that one a bit more secure. And that's just due to the softness of the hand. As far as for the stand test, he stands pretty well to be such a slim and lightweight figure. So for functionality, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. So for pricing, these are priced at $60 plus tax. I was able to get mine for free shipping off of Amazon. So I paid around $66 for the 2-pack. If you have not pre-ordered these figures, they are increasing in price. So if you are thinking about getting them, you may want to make that move very quickly. So do I think they're worth the price of $66 for a 2-pack, which breaks down to roughly $33 each figure? Well, most SH Figuarts, Marvel or DC figures are priced around that price point. Do I feel that these two figures are about the same value as an SH Figuarts? Not quite. Do I feel that these two figures are the same value as 3 Marvel Legends? I definitely do not. So this is how I'm feeling about this particular set. I was super amped and hyped waiting for these. The postponement made me more hyped and anxious to get them. So as I finally get them in hand, I'm a bit disappointed at what we get. And it's really due to the design. I really feel that they are not big enough and they feel too fragile. I think a price point of $45, maybe $50 I would have felt a lot better with. For $60, I just feel that there are a lot of other action figures that pack more value than what we're getting here. And this is the first Storm collectible figure that I purchased to where I feel that it's not a quality buy. Even with me saying that, I know that there are some collectors that are going to absolutely love them. I scoured the internet. I was looking for other options for skeletons to see if I can find something cheaper, and I really didn't come across many options. So this may be it for your 6 or 7 inch line. You can throw them with your Masters of Universe, your Mythical Legions. I'll probably have them displayed in one of two areas, maybe with my Mortal Kombat figures or some of my Mezco figures such as the Nosferatu. Or if I decide to buy some of the TB League figures, I may throw them there. I highly doubt that I'm going to have a lot of them to be placed along with the Battle Axer. Who knows? Time will tell. I also feel that we should have gotten more accessories, just another head sculpt to make each skeleton look a little bit different and unique. Maybe a captain hat, maybe a horned hat, something additional. So for that, I'm going to give pricing a 7 out of 10, which gives this set an overall Cliff score of 47 out of 60. Now, do I think it's a pass or a purchase? This is really a tough one for me. Part of me really feels like this is a pass, but just thinking of the numerous options to be able to display these figures, they'll look fantastic with Scorpion. For reasons such as that, I have to say it's a purchase. So here's the skeleton standing by himself. Here's the skeleton standing next to Diamond Select's Magneto. Here he is standing next to Storm Collectibles' Cammy. And here he is standing to Storm Collectibles' Darkseid, which will be the next figure that I review. So thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. I hope to catch you during the next review.